Hey, everybody. Welcome to my first new series, Business Resilience in a New Normal. I'm so excited to do this session because for once, I'm not by myself. I'm actually with my clients, and I have one, you're going to have a lot of things. You're going to learn a lot of things, and I'm super excited. And this series is really much about helping you, while we are in isolation, but also what you need to do, prepare yourself for what's coming. And I think we shouldn't expect things to go as they used to be before. And that's why I have to obviously talk about the new normal. So in case if you don't know me, my name is Flavilla Fongang and I am a brand strategist. People also know me as an award-winning businesswoman, because obviously I don't mind bragging, and also as an international keynote speaker. I run Three Colors Role, a branding and marketing agency based in London, and I spend a lot of time working with great brands. And today I have with me Bryan Davis, the CEO and founder of Connected Communication. How are you, Bryan?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having. Nice to see you today.
Oh, no, that's it. We're obviously not next to each other. We decided to respect obviously social distancing. And we're going to do this session. And I'm really happy to have you here, Bryan, because we're going to talk about telecommunication. Obviously, in the space of distancing, if you don't have anything in place, we need to stay connected, obviously. And what you do is so relevant. But can you tell us a little bit more in terms of what you do?
Yeah, Connected Communication. We are a communication provider specialising in hosted phone systems, predominantly what everybody's screaming out for at this minute in time. We also provide high-speed internet, mobile phone services. So we connect clients to you.
Good. That's the good. And I'm obviously Bryan is my client, but I'm also a client of his. I buy from clients that I like, and I've been using their system for obviously the services for a long time. I've never had any problem. From our point of view as a business, as you can see, I'm in the office by myself today. We've always been super flexible. I've always given the space for my client to be my employees, should I say, to work from where they want. And therefore, when we had to isolate, it didn't really affect us at all. And it was just another day where we couldn't come to the office. But I have a couple of questions for Bryan, which will help you as well, people. So how should companies prepare themselves during and after lockdown? Can you tell us, Bryan?
Sure. I think a lot of people's disaster recoveries have been well and truly tested during this time. Definitely a good idea if you haven't, well, you probably have now, obviously had to utilise these, but to really keep an eye on these. Quite often they get set up at the very beginning when a new system or software gets installed, and they don't get looked at again until something like this happens. I mean, this is unprecedented. We've seen multiple changes, but so moving forward, really check your disaster recoveries on your phones as well. It's very much a big thing in the IT world. They tend to forget about the phones, and they're definitely moving that way. As for after lockdown, is looking at how you can keep with the flexibility. The technology is here. We're all used to having video calls now rather than just having face-to-face meetings. So really utilize the technology that's available to ourselves now. And there is so much more out there that we could use, is what I would say.
Yes. When you talk to disaster, can you tell us a bit more about that? Because I'm going to pretend that nobody understands what it means.
For yourself, disaster recovery didn't really come into play because the way you work, your phone system was designed that it would find your staff members by their extensions. So this is what I mean. If, for an example, someone's in an office that's got a traditional phone system and just you have a power cut, as an example, it happens. What happens to those phone calls? If it's a on-site system, there is a very good chance that the only option you have is to forward it to one telephone number, which is not good if you've got a team of people and you want it to go elsewhere as well. So look at the possible options for that. There are solutions for standalone disaster recovery if you have one of those systems. So that's what I'd say. You could then forward it to a virtual system, a virtual phone system, and it will then do what it needs to do. So really look at what your options are and how you implement them, how quickly you can implement them as well.
Is it from a point of view, so for a bigger company who has probably an IT team, that's the best person to refer to? But if you're a small business, so who would it be? Usually the managing director or the office manager? Is it the best person?
I think whoever it is, it tends to get labelled with the phone system. So we have a wide selection of titles for people that we would speak to within the different organisations. One of which is actually the marketing director in one of the companies that we work with. They want to know all the statistics on the call traffic. Whereas in other businesses, it would be the IT team that we would work with. But on the smaller businesses, it tends to be the person that pays the bill. They want to know exactly what they're getting for their money. So it does vary slightly. So with yourself, a couple of your team would actually work with yourself and your team to make changes if needed. So it does vary. It does vary from one company to another.
Good. That's a very good answer. Thank you so much for that. So how can they improve and maintain business continuity whether or not we are hit by another peak? Well, that's super important because I think we hoping things to calm down for summer, but if things don't calm down and we're going to winter and we hit again, what's the best way to do it?
I think as we move forward, a lot of us have accepted that some of the call qualities and video calls haven't been quite as crisp as they could be, because let's face it, if you have children and they're at home, they're using a lot of your bandwidth. I think on my own network, I have 2 young children myself, and I think there's about 80 devices connected to our broadband the other day. So I was like, yeah, we need to turn some of these off. So moving forward, it's looking for quality of service on your broadband. Your broadband provider should be able to help you with this. Something we've got some information, so more than happy to share that with. The short answer is to prioritize your traffic on your home network so that you can work and get good quality pictures and good quality calls. If we're going to get another peak in the service, then also look at the 4 and 5G options as well, because you can literally clone your desk phone and put it on your mobile phone as an app. So therefore you are independent of your home network. Therefore, if your children are playing Call of Duty or something else, then your phone calls for work still continue as they should. So there are options there as well.
Very, very good tip. Listen, I told you were ready for some golden golden. So tell us about Happttohelp. Obviously, us, we're not the client affected by the situation because we're living in place already. But other clients, how did you help them?
Yeah, I mean, one of our clients that we've been working with is quite interesting. They're still on a traditional phone system, and they were newly introduced to us. And basically, 14 members of staff all needing to work from home, but only able to forward their landline number to one location. Is what the scenario was. So a little bit of an interesting situation. We effectively have set them up a virtual phone system, so they don't have any handsets or anything at all. And we've given them the ability for their team to log in and log out of group calls. So when a call comes in, it could ring my phone and your phone, for an example. But the third person might be on their lunch, and they can just literally swipe a key on a small app on their phone, and their calls won't be presented to their device. The interesting feedback that we got after the first day of this was the owner phoned me up and said, we now know more about what our team are doing on the phones than we did when they're all sitting in the office, because they can see all the stats, how long it's taking people to answer the calls, which has definitely changed a few of the KPIs for the team, I think, and really opened up as to who it is that's quick on the phone or chooses to be a little slower.
Absolutely. And I think it's one thing that we forget as well, that you can track as many metrics as you need, especially if you have a big sales team. It's so easy to get distracted, your phone or whatever. You think they're on the phone, you think they're doing something actually where you wonder why they're not hitting their target, or they're not hitting the number of prospects they need to speak to, so forth. And then when you add those numbers, I remember the first time that you showed me that, wow, you understand, you see really the bigger picture. And also the elements of, we think that because they are close to us, that we're really in control of their activities, and they feel somehow, protected or safe by that. But the distance.
If a person seems to be busy at their desk working, then you kind of accept that. But when you start to look at the numbers and actually see exactly what they're actually doing, it starts to show sometimes a different picture. It's not always the case, but it is possible. I mean, for some of our clients, what we've done is they've got just a handset on their desks. We've enabled a mobile unified communication app for them. So now they can have private messages between their team. They can do video calls between them to their team as well. And their phone is just literally now on their mobile. So all their outbound calls present as the office, and all incoming calls work exactly the same, regardless of where they're now working from. So there is a lot of flexibility to be had.
Yeah, that's good. I think, I don't know for you, but from from obviously my company culture, I've always focused on the output rather than the input. But I think a lot of companies, we need to move away from that idea that if you're in the office, I need to look at, look more at the results that people bring out rather than just, obviously you need to track them. You can justify why they're not achieving the targets as well. Obviously your tools are in place, but most often it's important to focus, on the output rather than the input. I don't know if you feel the same way about that, but for me, that's, I find that that's one thing that would change the way people as leaders will manage the team. Okay, I think I have one more question. Actually, two more questions. What can business learn from post COVID-19? What do you think they can learn?
I think, well, we've already learned an awful lot. I mean, from my perspective, it's like we've fast forwarded 3 years within the communications world. Everybody that was thinking about using a cloud-based system, whatever that may be, is now using it because they need to. So I think what we can learn is that the flexibility for workers is producing a lot more results for a lot of companies. We're noticing that our clients have even said to us that their team that are working from home don't try and jump off their phone at 5 minutes to 5. They'll take that call and they'll deal with the challenge because they haven't got that commute into the office. So they're actually getting more quality time from their team rather than people just clock watching and trying to disappear because they're gaining that travel time. So yeah, I think it's something to look at. If it's possible for your business to allow them to have a few days working from home, then why not enable it? Because you'll find you'll get great results from your team as well.
Totally. I think, yes, right there. The amount of hours of commuting that we all saved, I've always managed to do, and now I can do my workout every morning, I can do my meditation every morning, and there's no pressure of, I take another line in the morning. I don't have pressure of doing that really change. And the idea that you can choose, I think that's, you can choose to come or not to the office every day and still be judged more on your performance, not just and your presence. That's one thing that people really appreciate. And I think, as I'm saying it like you, that would definitely change, I think, improve as well some element of mental health for people to have that less pressure of the city. Right. So how is your business coping with the situation and what have you put in place? Obviously, I'm expecting you to be pretty ready when it comes to telecommunication, but is there anything else that you've done differently?
I don't know that we've made any additional changes to how our system was set up originally anyway. And the reason I say that is currently I have a team member that's actually in Germany and has been there since the lockdown. But unless we'd mentioned that, nobody would know because he's just working the same as if he was in the UK. Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, this is the systems that we do. So we haven't really made many changes for ourselves in-house. It's only how we're positioning the phones to try and help people that are trying to make the changes now rather than wait. So yeah, we didn't make many changes, I'm afraid, Flavilla. We were ahead of the game because we were already able to work remotely.
That's a good. I think one thing that you haven't mentioned, and I think people should know that, is that I remember when I moved into my office, I didn't have, it was always the idea that if you think about BT, they have to come in, they have to do all the work. And in your case, I get the set, we arrange it, we had somebody was there to help us. And that's one thing that's important, especially with, social distancing, that you can still get the support. And it's so simple to just use. As a customer myself, as I say, it's been, never had any issues. It's been brilliant for me in terms of how, do my work. So yeah, so that's one thing that I've always been, and I think people should take that into consideration. Sometimes the big business are very old model, where the small business are much more, practical style.
More agile. They're trying to stay ahead.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, well, so plug and play. Plug and play. Make it easy.
Yes. One last question I want to ask you, as you are a client and I was also called a friend. So, as an open question, what did you learn working with Freckle as well? We've been known each other for now for I think 5 years. Maybe that's been a long time.
Yeah, a while now.
What have been your learnings?
So, what did I learn? I learned I should never let you and my good lady sit in the same room and talk about my business. Is what I really think. No, that's on the fun side of it. No, it's really didn't really look at the colours so much for the company. We didn't change our colours after working with ourselves, but we definitely viewed how we perceived the company very differently. And just those little tips and those golden nuggets that you're very kind to share has made a lot of difference to us. So I'd recommend anyone that hasn't looked at everything we've been talking about, if you're doing that, probably a really good time to look at how your brand actually represents your business as well, because it can say so much about you before you even ever get a chance to speak to someone.
Does it not come better when it comes from your client's mouth and your mouth? So tell us, if so anybody wants to get in touch with you and want just some advice, or in terms of how we can better manage the telecommunication, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, the best way to contact ourselves is Happttohelp is the email address. Happttohelp at connect, which is CONNECT-IT.co, just Charlie Oscar. Drop an email to that. One of the team will be more than happy to help you out and share any information that you may request. Yeah, it'd be great to talk to, or give us a call if you want to have a talk. We're here. The number, I'm sure Flavilla will put up on the chat window for you.
Definitely. Been super helpful. I'm really grateful. So for me as well, I have a call to action. So if you want to obviously have a brand assessment, it's completely free. We don't, there's nothing, I'm not going to ask you to pay anything, just to chat, figure out what's wrong with your brand. So if you reach out, freeclothes.com. Obviously, you can reach out to me as well. I'm available on most social media platforms where I'm super active and have a lot of fun doing what I do. And it was really a great pleasure to do the session with you, Bryan. And see you very soon, guys, for the next session.